What's going on, YouTube? Good afternoon. And I'm gonna touch on the subject with Frank Martin and how he really ghosted the fight. He really got ghost, and it's unfortunate that we don't get to see that fight. But I guess next in line is Santos. Santos been calling out Shakur Stevenson for a while. You know, another solid contender for Shakur Stevenson, which is a good thing that we won't be missing out. Even on the fights on a Thursday. I'm glad that Shakur could get a new dancing partner. You know, um, and I think it's gonna be the same thing. Shakur Stevenson comes out on top. Uh, you know, now Frank Martin is gonna have that label as the ghost. Literally, you ain't gonna see him at a press conference if fans feel he can't win the fight. In my, you know, analyzation of that situation. And I like Frank Martin, so I'm not going to bash him because I know how the sport of boxing can be behind the scenes, just based on a lot of things that has came up when fighters do talk about what goes on behind the scenes. So there was something that he didn't like, you know, him or Heyman or Spence didn't like that was going on in the negotiations. And I had a theory that it might have been Keyshawn Johnson. I had a lot of people, tell me, nah, you don't just throw away no title shot like that. And they're right, totally right, you know. But it was just my theory, and I looked at both my theory and the other people's theory that was saying like, nah, man, you just don't get to that level. So you risk doing your career away. It's basically saying like getting a fight with Keyshawn Davis and losing that fight versus getting the championship fight and losing to Shakur Stevenson. And my angle was that, the fight would be a little closer with Keyshawn Johnson versus Shakur Stevenson, down the stretch, where he could at least get a rematch, what I'm saying, if the fight is uh, a split decision or a majority decision, but somebody could have got flattened in there too, because they both hit hard. And I think just, that's just what it was with me in that fight. But nah, you just don't turn down no fight, no championship fight unless it's something to do with some money, the date, the location. Because I don't think Frank Martin was scared. Shakur Stevenson was highly pissed off because he's been asking everybody for fights and can't find none. You know what I'm saying? Shakur can't find none. He can't find nobody to get in there and go boo 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 boo, ping ping, bam. He can't find nobody in there to do it. And Santos has been saying it. I didn't see Santos like, man, I want Shakur Stevenson. Let me get it. Let me get that. Let me get that shot. And like Shakur said, be careful what you ask for. You know what I'm saying? And I applaud Santos for not being careful for what he asked for. Because Shakur is a special kid, man. A special kid slash young man. Let me say that. He's special. Um, but I think during the long run, it's just going to be him and Tank Davis at the top with guys coming behind him like Shushu and Mason, and Kid Austin. I like Kid Austin too. A lot of people don't talk about him, but I've been watching a little bit of him, and I like his work ethic. You know, um, we got fights coming up, with Charlo and Canelo. A lot of fighters like Khan saying, "Well, I tried to do this and I jumped up, and it's not something that you would do." Well, Khan, Charlo is not you. You know, um, you're a great fighter, great skills, but you got a chin of a 5-year-old. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of fragments in there. You can fight your ass off though. I give you that. But if you get touched on that butt, man, I just seen you do the hot step up murderer. a few times. You look like you was walking on hot coals. Charles is a different animal. He knows how to box effectively, move effectively, and he could take a punch. Because Canelo is one of those fighters. To give some, you might have to take some, and that's just a fact. So I wouldn't judge him versus how you went in there and got in there because you're a different story. You didn't touch on the button a few times, and you look like you want to go down. Even though you had some of the fastest hands in boxing, footwork wasn't nowhere near as good as Charlo's. Charlo got better footwork too. Um, yeah, So with that, I would say like I would look at Charlo giving Canelo a fight like Laura did, but a better, you know, not moving so much. Even though Laura moved to a degree where it was effective boxing for him, and the judges didn't see that. That's another fight I would say like politics might have kicked in because in my eyes he outboxed the man. You know, he didn't get the fight. You know, and that's just that. And that's where it was almost like Canelo was saying he didn't want to fight nobody with that type of style no more because they didn't want to sit and engage because Canelo at that time he threw some of the best body shot combos that I seen at that time in boxing out of all those fighters that was there that was young. You know, his body and head game was, what I'm saying, was nice. It was real nice. So it was so nice that they thought he could get up there, jump up there, and mess with Ward. They wanted to see him in the reward, but that would have been too much. You know, Ward does things even when he's on offense, he's on defense. Ward was a special big guy, so that probably would have damaged Canelo if he would have ever got in there with him. Honestly, Canelo might not have got stopped, but mentally it would have probably damaged him. But then again, shit, I would have thought mentally Floyd would have damaged him, but he really didn't. You he went on to have 3 fights with Triple G, won 2 out of the 3. One was a draw. Um, yeah, Canelo is gonna go down as the best Mexican fighter to me because he has a hell of a resume. You know, I would still put him up there with Roberto Duran or on the same level. But even though Berto said no mas, baby, no mas, Berto is still Berto is still that guy. Roberto Duran is still that guy though. Because Roberto Duran was in the era of slugfest. Like going against Tommy the Hitman Hearns and the way that guy uses reach and wanted to throw bombs, and you got Marvin Hagler using reach wanting to throw bombs, and you got Sugar Ray Leonard that had hand speed and will throw bombs, but they tried to say the power wasn't there, which I don't believe. I believe Leonard hit hard. When you was to go to old school fight night, man, you get Sugar Ray, he had speed, but his power was like, I was looking at it like, man, come on, man, you guys' power is underrated. Don't you do that to me. Yeah, I believe that Charlo has a great chance because he has speed, good footwork. His defense is good enough to get in there with him, you know. And I just hope he don't go in there trying to fight him like he did Tony Harrison, which I think styles may fight. So we'll just have to see what's going to go on that evening, on that Saturday evening. It's just great. That's going to be a great day in my eyes. I'm trying to see who's next for Tank. Who are they gonna line up for Tank Davis? Because Tank is anybody pays attention to Tank. Tank don't allow you to make the same mistake twice. Tank does not allow you to make the same mistake twice, and if you do, he's gonna knock you out. You know, uh, if he runs it back with Cruz and his hand don't get hurt, we may see a knockout from Tank in there. You know, may see a knockout because when you go back and look at, I say about Tank's last 5 fights, those fighters make the mistake twice, and Tank put them to sleep. You know what I'm saying? He put them to sleep. Tank gave him that uppercut from Tennessee and made them stretched out like they was off 6 pints of Hennessy on an empty stomach, baby. Woo! Especially Leah Santa Cruz. I felt like Lil Chris off of Boys in the Hood. Hey, you want to see a dead body? But Leah Santa Cruz got great skill, you know. And Leah Santa Cruz is on him all night. Baby overcommitted, and that's what got him put down. But he was on him all night. And Shakir was setting them, not Shakir, excuse me, Tank was setting those traps. He was corner to corner and was fighting in spurts. And that one final blow sent Leah Santa Cruz to the floor. Yeah. So I would wonder how the fight with Isaac play out because the last fight with Isaac, I believe the height was a factor in that fight why he didn't stop that man. Which that man, never heard of him in my life. He put up a great fight. I mean, on paper, you would have thought that Cruz is going to go in there and just dominate. He did pull it out. He did fight real good, but that guy wasn't going nowhere. Taking Cruz's best shots, it wasn't going nowhere. Stayed in the fight from start to finish. And that was something that I give him praise to. I got to go back and see his name, but I watched the fight. Like I said, I never heard of the guy until that day. And yeah, he got my vote like Cisco and Ebert, 2 thumbs up. You know what I mean? But this is probably the last time with my camera quality looking like this. I'm going to have a better mic, man. I must have go invest in, what I'm doing here so you guys can see clear. They'll probably give me a green screen and all that great American stuff. So I'm going to conclude this. Hopefully we hear about what happened with Frank Martin and his team of why they did not want to get in there with Shakur Stevenson after he said everybody can get it. I guess Shakur Stevenson was the Ghostbuster and was like, I ain't afraid of no ghost. Ghost is looking like, man, he's right. He ain't afraid of those ghosts. Or it could have been something with the date, the pay, the purse. Even though his last purse was $725,000, maybe the team didn't feel like that was enough, especially on a Thursday. Maybe we'll bend a corner or two and they do it next year or at the end of this year. No, not at the end of this year because they got the fight on the 16th. Sometime next year. So again, I'm going to conclude this. You guys enjoy your Friday and your weekend. You guys probably be seeing me again after this because I'm going to end up with a camera. So maybe hopefully before Sunday, do a little bit more of my homework, watch some football games, college, might do a little fishing. But again, you guys enjoy your weekend. You'll be seeing me soon. Stay healthy, take care of what you need to do. I'll holla. Enjoy your evening. Peace out.